Tokyo. All I have to say is that it was completely worth taking my trip to Japan this winter. And the best part is that I got some rain while I was shooting in Tokyo, even though I wasn't expecting it because, quite honestly, winters are kind of dry. My friends tell me it doesn't snow very often in Tokyo, but I got rain for 2 nights. The first night was only for about maybe 15, 20 minutes. Like it wasn't even rain, it was sleet, but eventually the sleet melted away and made the streets all nice and shiny. So I was really excited. I stayed up as long as I could, shooting as much as I could in the rain. Some of you already know, like I love shooting in the rain. Even though this year I plan to shoot much more in the daytime, I couldn't let this opportunity pass away. After I'm like the rain photographer. Anyways, so I was staying in Tokyo for about 2 weeks, and 2 of those nights it rained. And actually, on my last night there, it rained pretty much almost all night, and luckily for me, I usually stay up all night shooting. I mentioned this in my previous video, but basically I would be out walking from like 6 p.m. until like 8 a.m. the next morning, pretty much every day. I'm just trying to take as many photos as I can of Tokyo. I was all over the map. Like I know people are going to ask me, where do you take photos in Tokyo? And the answer is pretty much everywhere. Like there wasn't any location that I didn't go to. And even though I did hit up like all the major popular spots, I also try to take photos of places that people don't normally walk around to, like the less touristy places. I spent a lot of time like in residential areas and places of non-interest, trying to take as many photos as I could. I even took some infrared rain photos, which is going to be another video. But right now we're talking about Tokyo in the rain, because as some of you know, I live in Seoul and I frequently shoot in the rain here in Korea, which is great. I love it. But even for me, like I need a change of scenery from time to time. And there's a big difference between Seoul and Tokyo. Like maybe for some of you living abroad, it all just looks the same. But for me, it is quite different, And like as soon as the rain started to fall down, pretty much I saw pictures everywhere. Like everywhere I looked was another picture waiting to be taken. I had 2 cards with me and 2 batteries with me, both of which died. So I had to like go back to the hostel for like 2 hours, which pained me to do so, and unload the cards and recharge the batteries. At least one battery, It's like but once that was over, I headed out with my friend. At the time, well, when I went to my hostel, there was like this roll of fog just sweeping over the city. Like it looked really, really amazing. That's all I really gotta say. And when we started walking, just like exploring the city, we noticed this orange glow in the sky. It's like we were following it like moths. Like we just follow the light initially, and we were right. It was coming from like the Tokyo Dome, but then we noticed the Tokyo Tower, kind of far off in the distance, and we walked towards it. It was a really far walk. We were located in near Okubo Station. I wonder if that's the correct way to say it. Like more or less the Shinjuku area. We walked all the way down to Tokyo Tower in like Roppongi and stuff, and it was really, really eventful. Like I think that night was like some of the best photos I've taken in my nights. And like that feeling when I took like 500 gigabytes of photos and I really want to put all the pictures out. Like I just want to edit them all at once and like just put them out there. But I know I should pace myself because I don't know when my next trip is going to be. So I'm kind of stuck putting out like 2-3 pictures a day. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I try to put out only the best ones. And yeah, like I posted like twice in one day, and then I was like, okay, that's too much. Just limit it to like 1 post a day. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should, because when I show these pictures here on YouTube, they don't actually look as good as they do on Instagram. Like I don't know what it is about YouTube, but like the blacks get pushed all the way up and it looks kind of washed out. So like If you want to see like the better quality photos, check out my Instagram or my Twitter. Twitter especially, I post several times a day. Maybe I post too much, but I always post like sets of 3 or 4 photos at a time. But yeah, I'm trying my best not to post too much because, you know, I want to piss people off. Hey, this guy's posting all the time, but it's kind of what I do. You know, I'm a photographer and that's why people follow me, for my images. But I'm still careful not to post too often. But anyways, back to Tokyo. As I was saying, I stayed up pretty much every other night, almost every night. It was more like the first week I spent all night, every night walking. My feet hurt so much, but I just kept pushing, and it was cold too. Not as cold as Seoul, but it was still pretty cold. And I met a lot of people along the way. I made a lot of friends, a lot of people that I've talked to like on Instagram and Twitter for years. I finally got to meet them, and a lot of people that were like, they follow me on YouTube or Instagram and they wanted to meet me. I made time to meet them too. Of course, I can't meet everybody, but I try my best. And the next week in Tokyo, I spent it in the daytime, shooting as much as I could. Of course, once the rain hit, I pretty much just had to jump on it because that's kind of like my signature. You know, you gotta go out there and shoot in the rain. And I know I get this question all the time. How do you keep your camera dry? You just use an umbrella. It's really that simple. You know, it's not that hard, not very complicated. But yeah, in my last video, I mentioned that people often spend so much money on gear, they don't have any money to actually travel. And people want to take these kind of photos, but they never do. Perhaps you should save your money for a trip like these. Like, I travel on the cheap. I just bought the plane ticket. I got my hostel. I ate most of my food at the convenience store because, you know, it's quite cheap on there. And yeah, the rest of the money I pretty much just spent it on train rides and stuff, you know. It actually wasn't as expensive as I expected, you know, especially for me because I don't usually visit these touristy areas. I just go and take my photos, and you know what? Taking pictures is free unless you count like the bus ride or taxi ride or something. So for those of you out there, I hope this video of Tokyo in the rain will inspire you. Go out there and shoot, you know, stop watching these videos, stop watching my videos, but leave a like and comment because that helps. And go out there and shoot because, you know, you only live once. You might as well do it doing something you enjoy. And I definitely really enjoyed shooting in Tokyo. There's many videos coming, like this is just like one of the rain videos. There's like another one coming, and I'm already planning my second trip, you know, because like, there's so much to do in that city. And yeah, thank you all. I'll see you around.